Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. This time I'm talking about the latest main range release number 231, The BEHEMOTH. It's a Sixth Doctor story, and it also has, well, Lisa Greenwood as Philip Jackson and Miranda Raisin as Mrs Constance Clarke. Now, it's just great, but a word of warning to the wise. It's going to be hard going, because this is, and you don't get to use this phrase very often when it comes to Doctor Who, a purely historical. Although it's sold in the first few seconds as being something more alien. Now, it deals with slavery, cards on the table, straight off. So it's going to be not exactly a laugh a minute. But you know what? It's still worth the investment. It's still worth your time to listen to. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Let's listen to the synopsis. Bath, 1756, and a very dashing gentleman known only as the Doctor is newly arrived in town, accompanied by his lady friends Mrs Clarke and Mrs Ramon. He's created a stir amongst the gentlefolk of Georgian high society, and a stir in the heart of the merry widow called Mrs Theodosia Middlemint. Rumour has it they are not the only strangers from abroad causing tongues to wag. However, the mysterious Lady Clara has come from Amsterdam in the company of the noble Captain Van Der Meer, has the whole of Bath agog. Who is she really? What is she really? But there's something terrible beneath the veneer of Georgian gentility. As awful a horror as the Doctor has ever exposed inside Balsam's Brassworks. Something that needs to be brought to light for the sake of all humanity. It's written by Marc Platt, directed superbly by Jamie Anderson, and is basically great. It's a 4-part story. It's got 2 of the best companions the Sixth Doctor's ever had, and let's face it, he's had a handful of superb ones, and the performances are great. Now, I know, and you know me, that the real problem is with me, not with the story, that I was the child that John Nathan Turner referred to when he implied that we can't have purely historicals, we must have monsters. We've got to have them. Because if the Doctor doesn't sort out problems like slavery or Hitler, that kind of thing, then what's he for? This fixed moment in history nonsense just doesn't quite work. We end up believing that we're the masters of our own destiny and we've made a terrible mess of it, which is probably the truth. So the Doctor in a purely historical, when it's the first Doctor, you can just about stretch to go into the 6th. I still have issues. I put my brain in neutral, fought back all of these thoughts and just let the story wash over me. And it's great. It's tremendously well written, brilliantly acted, and just damn fine. The visualisation is second to none. But you know what? It's the fact that its subject matter, and let's face it, if you look at the front, is slavery. And you've got, well, some darkness happening. Let's put it this way, there's a lot of people out there who listen or watch Doctor Who in order to get a bit of escapism. And if you're one of those people, perhaps this isn't for you. But if you want something a bit of challenging and a bit of history, and you're not the sort of person who turns off the news, to quote a certain Alan Moore, well, then this is for you. It's a great, cracking story, superbly directed. I hope that Jamie Anderson and Marc Platt work together in future. And I'm so happy that Lisa Greenwood and Miranda Raisin are hanging around with good old Sixie. That's not to say that the rest of the performances aren't great, and I'm not even going to comment on who Lady Clara could be. Because, let's face it, over the last few years, from me, you've had far too much Clara-based speculation. And I'm not going to spoil it. So with this short, but sweet, but perfectly formed review, I'll bid you farewell, and look forward to you on Monday, hearing the latest UFO cast. Before I go, I just want to say that I've listed quite a few of my very old Big Finish CDs on eBay. There'll be a link in the show notes. Have a look, see if there's something you never quite got around to buying. I'll be selling some more Doctor Who stuff because Christmas is coming and I'm very skint. So, until next time, be seeing you.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions.
Mrs. Clarke, Mrs. Ramon, and the Doctor.
Very discreet. Thank you.
This is asking for trouble.
Doctor Who, the Behemoth.
Theodosia, might I have the honour?
Oh, sir, you may indeed.
Good grief. He's rather good.
Gorimbe, are you there?
They're hunting me.
They have taken him away because they are our masters.
England should be ashamed, and one day your filthy trade will be swept away.
Utter one word, and I'll have him flogged to death, and you too.
Get off me! Get off! Let me out! Let me out! Doctor!
It is there! The dragon!
Connie, look out!
Big Finish. We love stories.
You destroyed my foundry.
Oh, a big explosion can be hugely satisfying.
That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.